If you're looking to upgrade your pressure washing experience by adding a hose reel to your setup, these two options may be the perfect choice for you. So in today's video, we're gonna be reviewing these two. We have the Giraffe Tools auto retractable version that's on a spring-loaded deal. It auto retracts. This actually comes with the hose as well, but we're also gonna try and change out the hose to see if we can swap that out. And then we're also going to be reviewing this one here. This is the Mekoh manual wind, but it's a very, very similar, almost a like copy, kind of a ripoff of the Cox hose reel, which are phenomenal. This basically has all the same features, same color. The build quality, I don't know if it's exactly the same. I have the Cox hose reel at my house, and honestly, this feels the same. It almost feels like the same gauge of steel that they used. So we're gonna be talking about this one as well because the price difference is pretty substantial when you compare that to other ones that are like this. Now there's lots of different options for hose reels out there. MTM makes one that's been great. However, I don't like the structure of that one quite as much as other ones. This one, on the other hand, this one from the Mekoh brand is a manual windup, but very similar to the Cox brand of reels. And those are fantastic. It looks the same. They chose the same exact color. It's kind of a little bit of a ripoff, but the value is amazing. The price of this thing compared to the Cox reels is substantially different. So I wanted to highlight this for you. Now I do know a couple of people running these in their mobile detail units, in their vans, and they love it. So I wanted to highlight this one, talk about it, talk about the benefits of it. Number one being this type of construction here where it's open in the middle. You can apply your hose and not get a hard kink in it when you go to wind it up. I really, really like that style construction. Now I've also reviewed the active pressure washer hose reel mount, their whole wall setup, and that thing is incredible. It's a premium unit and it has a premium price, but it's really, really nice. So these two are both under 200 bucks. We're gonna try and highlight these to see what may make the most sense for you. So quick spec on these units. So the Mekoh it states that it holds 100 feet of 3/8 or 200 feet of a 1/4 inch hose. Don't know how accurate that is, but I'm only gonna be putting a 50 footer on here, but we'll kind of be able to get a gauge of how much more we could hold, right? So that is that one. This thing is coming in at a price of right about, I think it was $160 for this unit, again, which is substantially lower than the Cox hose reel. Now real quick, there are some like $100, $120 options, but they don't have this same style connection point. The reason I like this where it's open in the middle and not just a ring off the side that you have to poke through is because you can have a much more gradual turn to your hose before it goes on the hose reel, which is just better in my personal opinion. Otherwise you get a really hard turn, kind of creates a pressure point there. I don't like that, so I definitely like this style the best, and this one is a fantastic price for this style of hose reel. Alternatively, we do have the Giraffe Tools pressure washer hose reel. Again, this is auto retractable, which is an awesome feature. This one is coming in at a price, I believe, of $180, but it also comes with your hose already installed. It seems to be a nice quality steel braided hose, 1/4 inch diameter. Let me get this out a little bit. 1/4 inch diameter. Really, really flexible, definitely feels to be steel braided, has a standard M22 connection on the side, comes with a bunch of accessories as well, so you have everything you need to get it all set up. I'm going to, again, $180. They actually advertise this thing to be full steel construction. At least I think that's what it shows on the Amazon listing. So here it is. I really like the look of it. It's a great color combo. It looks really good. But again, as you can see here, steel, here, steel, but here, I don't know, sounds like plastic to me, and it does flex, as you can see. So, and then some of these internal components you can see are plastic as well. With that said, I actually don't mind that the housing of the hose portion is, if it is, it's either really, really thin gauge steel that's powder coated or it's plastic. Whatever it is, I don't mind that. The internals, I don't want that much plastic, but we'll go ahead and test it and see how it works. I'm also gonna, like I said, swapping out the hose if I can. There is a guide on the side here, which is made for a 1/4 inch, but I'm gonna try and put a 5/16 on there and see if we can get that to work. Now this thing is rated for a 60-foot 1/4 inch hose. That's what they ship on it, and it's pretty full, right? It's you could probably put a little bit more on there, but overall, I wouldn't wanna go too much more than that. I'm hoping, again, this is 60 feet, 1/4 inch. The 5/16 that I'm gonna be putting on here is 50 feet, so I'm hoping that it'll just kind of fill it up and it'll be okay, but we'll see. All right, guys, now we're gonna go through each one of these independently, talk about exactly what it is, the build components. Obviously, they give you all the accessories to be able to mount it and do all that kind of good stuff. Right off the bat though, the Mekoh, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my phone and show you a couple of things. So if you look here, we have threaded seams or threaded points on both sides. So which one is for the hose connection and which one is for the handle. Pretty easy to tell that actually. When we come in here, if you look for this side, it is not threaded on the inside versus over here, it is threaded on the inside. So that will be our hose connection where it comes through, okay? This side, on the other hand, will just be for our crank. So it's in here, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on. All right, so first things first, here's the handle. It's actually quite nice. Nice, thick, strong handle, so it's not gonna flex on you at all. This side does kind of spin on itself, and that's great so that while you're going, you don't have to constantly be like, you know, it just turns with you, so it's nice. So we're gonna go ahead and take this and thread it on to this side. So I'm gonna hold the unit in place here so that it doesn't fight me, so I can get this thing cranked down nice and tight. One more thing to note, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up to you. A lot of people, I've seen in some of the reviews on this, they say, hey, there's no locking mechanism. And that may not be a big problem if you're working at home, it just stays stationary, but in like the back of a truck or back of a van, as you're driving down the road, the hose could back out on itself. But it actually does have a locking mechanism. It's just not the traditional kind. It's the same that the Cox hose reels use. You can loosen this up, and then it spins nice and freely, okay? Or you can tighten it down, and that tightens up the whole spool. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, and now I can still get it to move if I really want it to, but it's not gonna go anywhere on its own. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and attach this piece here. This is the flow-through unit that is on a swivel, okay? So this is what you'll connect onto this side of the unit so that your hose or your water inlet will come in there, and then we'll have another portion on the inside where we connect our pressure washer hose. Now, just one thing real quick I'm noticing that this does not come with is a jumper hose. Typically, you have a hose that runs from your pressure washer into the hose reel. This one didn't come with that, I don't think. Yes, now I know for sure it did not come with it, so you'll have to get a supplemental one. The Giraffe Tools one, however, did come with the jumper hose, so that's another extra little bonus. So I'll have to sort that out for this one at some point. But to go ahead and install this piece, right, the handle's on this side, we're going to the other side. I'm gonna apply some Teflon tape here. They actually give it to you, so that's nice. And then we will thread this on this way. Just like, let me get it going, just like so. And then our hose connection will come on this side. And what that does is, again, because it's on a swivel, the hose will stay here, and when we crank, it just moves freely and you don't have to, the hose isn't going all crazy. Now, honestly, one level of concern that I have with this is just, it looks like it's just steel. It doesn't look to be coated, so it does look a little rusty in there. Okay, and it's a little bit rusty, not terrible, but a little bit rusty. And again, that's going to be passing through to this side and then out. So is that gonna be contaminating my hose over time, building up rust? Potentially. Like I said though, I have friends that have been running this thing and they have no issues with it. They love it. So I don't exactly remember how the Cox hose reel was on that side. I think this was already installed on it, so I don't even think I ever checked, but just something to know. Hey guys, quick update real quick. Here is the official Cox Reels version, right? So very, very similar. Like I said, this is at my home and it is outside. You can see it here. But one thing I wanted to note is the connection here does look like it's sleeved with stainless steel. I don't know that for sure, but that's definitely how it appears in comparison to the one, again, from Mekoh, was just much more sort of raw and potential rust there. So that is a big difference. So, you know, the Cox reels are fantastic, but again, the Mekoh gets you close at a value proposition. All right, guys, so I went ahead and applied the Teflon tape. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and get a wrench. I'm just gonna get this started real quick, and then I'll go get a wrench and tighten this thing all the way down. All right, now that we have this portion done, we have to install the inner portion as well. So right here, guys, is your connection, and that is a female, I believe it's a female 3/8 NPT. Additionally, they give you this guy. So if you're running a hose that only has M22 connections like this, then this is a 3/8 male NPT into a M22 by 14 connection. So then if you are running it that way, you would want to put some thread tape on that screw that in, and then your other end, this guy, right, from your hose would be able to screw right into that and you'll be good to go. However, guys, I'm going to be installing my QuiverFlex hose here. This is a fiber braided hose. This one in particular is 50 feet long and 1/4 inch diameter, but very, very, very noodly, nice and lightweight. These things are absolutely phenomenal. I love them so much. Now, because I want to use one of my QuiverFlex hoses and they utilize a female quick connect, I actually just need to install a standard 3/8 NPT, right, that screws into there, and then is a male 3/8 quick connect on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. I'll show you guys what that looks like, and then we'll get this installed. All right, guys, so I went ahead and got that installed. This isn't ideal. Ideally, I would have had, again, this is the 3/8 quick connect that I was talking about, but this is a female version, so I had to use an adapter to get it to work. If I had had the correct kind, it would sit even more in, be more flush, which would be more ideal because then it gives us even more room for this to bend. But this will still work. I'm just going to go ahead and bend it where I need to be able to get it in there, and then we'll even it out. All right, guys, so there it is, all connected. The hose actually doesn't have a kink to it. It's just this protective sleeve, has some room in it. So it's just protecting it there. And then we can go ahead and wrap this around. All right, guys, so that is what it looks like. Just a nice progressive turn there. Not a super hard angle. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and wind it up and this thing will be all set. Again, this is a 50-foot hose, 1/4 inch diameter, and you can see how much it took up. It's really not taking up much. So 200 feet of 1/4 inch, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, it's really only one full row, a second row, and then like 3 wraps. So, and then we still have all this. So, I mean, it definitely can hold a lot. I don't know if it can hold a full 200, but that's really not what my purpose would be anyway. 100-foot max is where I would go, and that would definitely hold that. When we talk about on the 3/8 side, I think 100 feet of it might be pushing it. Actually, yeah, 100 feet of it might be pushing it. I would say, you know, the 50-footer will probably bring you to here and you'll be good to go with that. Now, like I said before, this thing does not come with a jumper hose, but that's basically what will run from your pressure washer into this piece here, and then you're good to go. But very, very nice unit, solid build quality. Again, you do have the little tighten down section over here so you can loosen it up and have it roll or reel, or you can tighten it down and it'll keep it in place for, you know, when you're in transport or just for storage. So really, really nice. Again, I think at 160 bucks, I'm gonna say, like, I think this is probably the best bang for your buck for the type of manual hose reel that I like. Again, there's some at 100 bucks. Like I said, the ones from MTM, there's a bunch of other ones on Amazon similar to those style. It's just a base, a little arm comes up and then the connection's off to the side. I just don't like those style that much because the connection comes here and then loops right to here. And it just, it's a little bit sloppy looking and creates a really hard bend. This style is much, much better and definitely what I would recommend. Either this or obviously the Cox hose reel is amazing. The active hose reel mount is this style too, where it's open in the middle, so phenomenal. The big boy wall mount solution, same thing, this style solution, so it's all good to go. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the Giraffe's retractable hose reel that we have sitting here. All right, guys, so if you want a retractable hose reel option at a good value, now there's this one, like I said, I think it was 180 bucks. There's another one that's gray from, can't remember the name exactly right now. I'll link in the description for you guys. But that one, they just listed, and that one's coming in at $130. And it sounds like it's the exact same construction. It looks to be the same. And that one comes with a hose as well. So again, I'll link that in the description for you guys if you want to check that one out. Back to this one though, there's a couple of things why I would say yes, buy it, or I would say no, don't buy it. Number one, if you're looking for a new hose and you want it to be on a reel, yes, buy it. If you already have your own hose and you like it, this probably isn't the best option for you for a few reasons. Let me take you in with my phone. So here it is. I actually wound the hose all the way out, right? So we can get to an access point. Now, it's really nice, right? So they have this guide, again, to keep the hose at a nice, consistent bend and not a hard bend. I like that a lot. However, it is designed for a 1/4 inch hose. And then the other downside is, I don't know, so this is the connection point for the hose, and I believe it's a 1/4 inch. And then if you look at the inside of it, there's a little gasket, little O-ring in there. So all that's good, but trying to replace the hose with a different hose, even though it is technically replaceable, is going to be a bit of a headache. And you're gonna have to add adapters, and then the turn here is gonna be tighter. So I would recommend, if you're gonna go with this one, just keep the hose that it has. Again, it seems like a decent hose, 1/4 inch, steel braided, kind of similar to my flex braid hose. I don't know, how many wire braids are in there or anything like that, but again, it seems decent for sure, and it's a nice plug and play solution for you. Again, this one does come with everything that you need. So let me go ahead and connect this back on here, and I'll show you this part. Now, another thing that I think is really important that I just want to highlight on this Giraffe Tools one real quick is the swivel attachment point, the flow through swivel that we installed on the other one. Let me show you the difference between these two. So here it is on the Giraffe Tools one. I'm gonna put my pointer finger right next to it so you can see the size of it, right? It's not very big. It's almost looking more like an air hose reel one than a pressure washer hose reel one. So I doubt that this one is rated for as high of PSI as that one is, strictly because of this. Now, I don't know that for sure, right? The internals may be all good. And again, when we're talking about pressure washing for car detailing, we're not running crazy PSI anyways, so you're probably fine. But again, the size there versus the size here. Significant, I mean, this thing is just, looks like next level, right? Size-wise, compared to that guy. All right, guys, and as this has been completely reeled out, I now have better access to the sides here. And again, it just doesn't sound like it's as metally as these other pieces, but I think it's just the gauge of the steel. This, you kind of get that echo from it. I think it is just really, really thin gauge steel. I think that is powder coated. So you get that flex because again, it's just really thin, but either way, it seems, I mean, again, I think for what it is, it's a really nice little unit. All right, so final points on the Giraffe Tools unit. Again, let's talk about the accessories that it comes with. It comes with an M22, let's see here, adapter. I believe this might be an M22 15 to 14 adapter. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So that's nice. They really kind of try and give you everything you need for any option, which I like a lot. It's really, really cool. Again, that was the one thing that was missing a little bit with the Mekoh one. But overall build quality, that thing is pretty amazing. Another adapter, and then one more as well. You also do get all of the anchors, so you can wall mount this thing. And then again, the biggest thing is that they do include a jumper hose so that you can run this unit here. So this side again, kind of similar to what we saw before on the portion here. This will just bolt into here. The O-ring sits inside, screws over the top. You tighten that down. And then this would connect to the outlet of your pressure washer, where the normal pressure washer hose would go. Again, this seems to be an M22 by 14 connection, and that's probably why they give you this adapter. And I just confirmed that. So this, again, what an M22 by 15 versus an M22 by 14 is, this whole unit here is the M22. So there's a threading on the outside, and then there's this inner piece with a little gasket on it, little O-ring that goes inside the hole. That's where the 14 or 15 millimeter comes in. This piece, right, is either 14 or 15. So on your pressure washer, most pressure washers nowadays are M22 by 14, so it's plug and play, you won't have to run the adapter. But some items like, I believe the Sunjos, I can't remember off the top of my head. The Sunjos, I think some of the consumer grade AR machines run an M22 by 15. So basically you just screw this onto it, and then this one screws onto there and you're good to go. So again, I like that they included everything. Okay, so final thoughts on which one of these I would go with, right? We're looking at budget friendly. Again, they're not cheap, but alternative options can be well into the $300, $400, $500 range. So in those terms, these are definitely bang for your buck, right? I think, in my personal opinion, again, as a professional detailer, I'd be leaning here to the Mekoh. It just feels much more robust. You could change out the hose to whatever hose you want. Again, it's just a really, really nicely built unit. Alternatively though, the Giraffe, if you're just a DIYer at home, and again, you're looking, if you don't have a hose, you're looking to upgrade your hose, and you want a wall mount solution where you have a hose reel, the fact that it's retractable is phenomenal. Longevity, neither of these I don't know. However, I will state this one, I would, again, have a lot more confidence in just on the build quality. This one though, DIY, you mount this thing in your garage, you're gonna be dialed in. Again, the hose is nice quality. You get 60 feet. I like that they did that. So you can even, mount it at the front of your garage. Most garages are approximately 10 feet long. Get it out and then you still have 50 feet to work with. So I really, really like this thing. Again, I think at 180 bucks, it's a great value. But alternatively, there are other options. I think it was from Tool Daily. I'll put the link down in the description. They have one similar to this listed for 130 bucks. Still get that 1/4 inch, 60-foot hose. I believe it's still braided. Giraffe Tools also has some cheaper versions that just have different hose constructions. But that's it, guys. Just wanted to bring these two to your attention so you can decide, hey, if I want a really nice wall mount solution without completely breaking the bank, I think these two are going to be your best bets. That is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. But with that said, again, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you guys on the next one.